In an age where lies masquerade as truth and chaos reigns supreme, Pope Leo XIV sends a shocking message. It exposes the biggest lie of our time, the one they want us to swallow in the name of security and progress. He doesn't just speak to the faithful, he speaks to anyone who still has the courage to think. And what he says, you never forget. Listen to the end. In a time when words are calibrated so as not to disturb certain balances and religious speeches often seem packaged so as not to displease anyone, Pope Leo XIV breaks the silence. And he does so decisively, without ambiguity, ignoring the risk of being inconvenient to those in the halls of power who would prefer a more docile and predictable pope. His voice, far from institutional, goes straight to the point. Too often, what they tell us does not correspond to reality. Too many official versions, too many well-packaged slogans, too much manipulated truth. The Pope does not simply invite us to be better or more devout. He asks us to open our eyes, not to be anesthetized by domesticated information, not to confuse the cries of propaganda with what is really happening. Leo XIV speaks to us of the truth, the real, uncomfortable, often silenced one, because if the truth is missing, everything becomes corrupted. Justice, peace, even faith becomes appearance. His is a shocking call. If we want to hope for a better world, we must have the courage to look around and recognize what is not working, even when it is difficult to accept. On June 26th in the Vatican, during a private meeting with representatives who support the churches in the Middle East, Pope Leo XIV spoke clearly. He bluntly dismantled one of the most widespread illusions of our time, that everything is done for our protection. How can we continue to betray the people's desire for peace with false propaganda? He asked in the face of a tense silence. If you appreciate our service of disclosure and believe in the values of truth and transparency, buy a super thank you. Each content requires commitment, study, and dedication, and our work is entirely self-financed. Your support helps us to continue this mission. Thank you very much. It is a heavy sentence, which touches raw nerves. The Pope has laid bare the enormous distance between what governments declare and what they actually do. Behind the great speeches on stability and protection, the pontiff essentially said, there are hidden logics of profit and hunger for power. Choices that enrich a few and leave the most fragile increasingly alone. People are no longer blind, he warned. They are starting to understand where certain resources really go, and they are wondering why we don't invest in what saves and builds instead. He never directly named what prudence forbids, but the message was loud and clear. There are interests that grow precisely thanks to instability, and that need the climate to remain tense in order to continue to act undisturbed. Here lies the big lie. We talk about security, but we foster conditions that distance any true serenity. And who pays? Always the same. Families, the sick, the poor, the little forgotten ones of this world. Even the structures already built are being destroyed, he added with a heartfelt tone. It is not just an accusation. It is a call to no longer blindly believe the official versions, but to ask ourselves what is behind them. Because when personal interest takes the place of the common good, the truth becomes the first target. Pope Leo then touched on the crux of this dynamic, the way in which public opinion is guided, shaped, and pushed to believe. People cannot die because of fake news, he said without hesitation, suggesting how serious the weight of words is when they are used to confuse rather than clarify. His was not an attack on technology or the media in themselves, but on a system in which information loses its role as a service and becomes an instrument of pressure. In many cases, he stressed, collective emotions are orchestrated. Feelings of fear, outrage, or the need to belong do not arise spontaneously. They are evoked, repeated, carefully constructed, and in the end, those who listen end up asking for exactly what they once would have refused. It is a strategy as old as the hills, but today it has new, powerful, rapid tools. And the result is that the truth is lost among 1,000 voices that cancel each other out. The Pope spoke of spurious rhetoric and emotional simulations, strong words that indicate a reality in which the causes of certain tensions are not addressed for what they are, but masked with captivating narratives. The goal? To legitimize choices already decided elsewhere. In a world where consensus is obtained in a few seconds, manipulating facts becomes easy. And it is here that Leo XIV launches his most urgent appeal. We are all called, humanity, to evaluate the true causes and to reject the false ones. It is a call to discernment, to vigilance, to responsibility. It is no longer enough to listen. We must be able to distinguish. And it is not enough to be indignant. We must also stop repeating, perhaps in good faith, what only serves to strengthen those who have an interest in keeping things as they are. But his gaze did not stop at the disaster. Indeed, right there where everything seems lost, the Pope indicated the presence of a concrete hope, a light that continues to shine despite everything. He spoke of local churches as true oxygen tanks, capable of keeping faith alive amid the rubble, of remaining close to those who no longer have anything, of becoming a voice for those who have no voice. It is a vision that overturns the dominant narrative. Where many see only a desolate field, Leo XIV recognizes seeds of the gospel growing in silence. He praised the courage of those faithful who, despite being marked by fatigue, continue to pray, to love, to bear witness. He spoke of liturgies that endure, of ancient songs that rise to heaven as requests for forgiveness for all humanity. And he recalled how in the darkest night, the people of God always know how to find the strength to remain firm, to not deny their own identity, to become a living sign of hope. The heart of Pope Leo. The 14th's message is a powerful reminder not to be deceived. In an age when words often serve to cover up rather than reveal, he bluntly denounced the false promises that fuel interests, disguised as protection plans. But it was not just a speech of denunciation. The Pope also addressed a simple but profound invitation to the faithful. I believe that, first of all, we must truly pray. In a disoriented world, he explained, every piece of news should not leave us passive, but push us to transform it into a cry of intercession. Pray for the victims, for the truth, for the courage of those who seek good. This is the path he indicated, not indifference, not resignation, but faithfulness to the gospel, which becomes light even in the darkest night, because only those who feed on truth can become seeds of peace. What do you think? If you liked the video, comment, Amen. God bless you.